Okay, so let's compare the Nintendo Switch 2 to compare Nintendo Switch 1. This will just be a comparison between the two consoles side by side. We will do game differences in another video. So first off the bat, you see the UI is better. The UI is cleaner on the Switch 2 than it is the Switch 1. Less blurry. The screen size is obviously bigger. The grip size is bigger. You don't have the rails, you have magnetic slots instead, which is better. In terms of the actual thumbsticks, the thumbsticks feel much better on the Switch 2. They're a lot solid, a lot more firm as well. Speaker wise, you have speakers at the back of the Switch 2 at the bottom, so everything is directed at one place. On here, the speakers actually on the bottom, and I think they're actually directional as well, so it's 5.1 surround sound. I don't think that you get very good surround sound, if any surround sound, on the Nintendo Switch 1. Nintendo Switch 2 does have 5.1. So not only that, if you have bigger hands like me, you can see these are perfect size. The Switch 2 is a perfect size for my hands. If I get the Switch 1, they're just too small. They actually cramp my hands up, because you can see my thumb has to go all the way back here to move us about. And with the Switch 2, I simply don't have that issue, because you're wider out, because everything's bigger. You wider out, your hands wider out. You don't have to do that. You actually come in more of a natural feel and a more comfortable feel. And I think that'll be a massive improvement, because you won't have the cramping for long gaming sessions if you do this handheld. And let's also talk about the buttons themselves. These feel very squishy, right? These feel very squishy when you touch them, when you keep pressing them. These ones, extremely firm. Okay, this one, the Switch 1, I haven't actually had that long. This is a sort of newish Switch 1. So the buttons aren't worn down too much. But this one is obviously new as well. But you can instantly feel the difference between how firm they are. And that also, with all the buttons, you can press that, and it's not really much of a click. If you press this, they all have a more clicky sound, right? You have a larger, more audible clicky sound, and it's just so much better, right? So in terms of, you have big hands, Switch 2 is obviously the way to go. In terms of differences in screen, I am going to do a video on battery life between the two on the same games, so I will obviously install them games on my Switch 2, and we'll do it side by side. And in terms of behind the Switch 2, you have a much better kickstand. So this is extremely firm. You can go all the way up to here, and when you click down, you have a very audible click sound, which is really cool. Oh, and you also have the SD card slot there. I didn't actually mention that you actually had the SD card slot in my last video on the unboxing, but that is actually underneath the kickstand. The kickstand on the Switch 1 is this, and honestly, I think that's going to break just by using it, right? That feels horrible. It feels like it's going to snap. There's no way that little kickstand here, right? Oh. Huh. Okay, well, it's a good job I don't use that anymore, huh? Well, okay. Oh, the mic click in. Is it clicked in? Okay, yeah, we're back. So, as you can see, the kickstand on the Switch 1 is not very good. On the Switch 2, on the other hand, much bigger kickstand. And why is that good? Because when you actually pop this out, without breaking it preferably, you get it, lean it up, and you push it all the way down, goes into this perfect position. This is perfect position for any sort of hand gaming, right? If you're going to use touchscreen, anything like that. I think Crunchyroll is on this, YouTube is on this, and obviously the bigger screen for YouTube and Crunchyroll is even better, especially for handheld. You can use it in the bedroom or something like that before you go to bed. Perfect, a lot better than the screen on the Switch 1. Also, it's a lot brighter screen and it's a better screen. They're both LCDs. That's a 720p, this is a 1080p. But this screen is, you can see in terms of the black, this is both the dark black theme. If you have a light theme and a dark theme, which is either a light background or a white background or a black background. This isn't dark, so both dark, so both black backgrounds. You can see the color difference in terms of the blacks. Even though they're both LCD screens, this one has a much deeper black, even though it's an LCD, not an OLED. Makes a lot of difference. So if it's going to be this black normally, that means all the games is going to be more black as well. This is more of a washed out grey, which is yeah, it's not nice. And you can see the logos here. The colour is much more vibrant on the Switch 2, and it pops out more. So the LCD screen is brighter. It has more vibrant colours, and it hasn't got this washed out grey, which is horrible as well, right? In terms of the features, we have eShops. You have everything you have on the Nintendo Switch 1 plus a few more things. So we have Nintendo Switch Online, and this is exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 1. Exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, not the Nintendo Switch 1. So you have Zelda, Soul Calibur, and we will try these games because I just bought 12 months of Nintendo. I think it's really cheap. It's like $35. It's a lot cheaper than the PlayStation and Xbox, right? Online play, you have save data in your cloud, and expansion packs. So with this, this is Switch 2 only. You get upgrade packs as well.
Upgrade your adventures in
and
Hyrule on Nintendo
the
Switch
main
2.
thing I will actually say, which is a really, really important, you go over to the eShop on both systems. Right? Go to the eShop on both systems. Ready? Boom. Look at that. Still loading in. Still loading in. I'll log in, but it takes a lot longer to log in with the Switch 1 than it does the Switch 2. And if we just log in with this one, log me in. Okay, so look, now logged in. For some reason it doesn't have the black background, even though this one does. In terms of, let's go, they're both connected to the same internet, by the way, both Wi-Fi 6. Look how quickly it loads up on the Switch 2. Look at that, dude. Let's go on the coming soon section. Boom. Let's try that again, so it's at the same time. Ready? We go to the coming soon section. Now. Instantly loaded up. You have also like a 2-second delay when you just everything, every single screen you go on. Every single screen you go on. See that? Look. And that actually also also crashed almost. See that? Look. I want to go down. Look at it. It's complete crashing. It's like spazzing out on me. See that? Now let's go on the Switch 2. See that? It's loading instantly. Now let's try on the Switch 1. See that? Absolutely terrible. The Switch 1 can't even handle loading up the eShop, which is the main shop for the Nintendo Switch. It's just terrible, right? So it isn't just that either. It's loading anything up on the Switch 1. It's showing its age. It's really slow. Everything takes ages as well. This is directly on the actual system itself. It's not from an SD card. This is on the system itself. It's not from an SD card. So everything's loading up quicker. Everything's running quicker. Better design in terms of speakers, louder speakers, 5.1 surround sound, higher fidelity picture, more vibrant picture. The blacks are more black. bigger size for bigger hands. So the Switch 2 is a much better fit for someone with bigger hands, like an adult. Speaker, like I said, speakers are better. Battery life, I've still got to try out myself. I'm going to probably run like Mario Kart 8 in both systems and see what the battery life is and just record them. In terms of the buttons as well, buttons feel less squishy on the Switch 2 and more squishy on the Switch 1. They feel less durable on the Switch 1 and 2. The analog sticks feel a lot more firm and stiff, and these ones feel really loose and horrible. The kickstand, like I said earlier, that is never going to hold this up properly, and you can only do it in one direction, and it snaps off frequently. This one has a multiple different directions on the kickstand. The analog buttons as well, the R1 and R2 buttons, very clicky, very responsive. Right, on the Switch 1, they don't feel nowhere near as nice. You don't get that trigger feeling. It's more of a click feeling. I know it's hard to explain, but that is basically how it feels. This one has 2 USB ports, one for charging and one for using whatever else. This only has one. And obviously the screen size as well, the difference in the screen size and everything. It's just overall, it's just better across the board. The main thing is the UI setup. Like I said, the UI setup on the Switch 2 is just far superior in terms of loading speeds, loading times, color picture, variants of the different colors like the grays and the blacks. The pictures themselves are just more vibrant and bigger because obviously it's a bigger UI, bigger screen. And it's just, overall, it's just a superior model compared to the Switch 1. Yeah, so this is basically just me comparing the Switch 1 to the Switch 2, just on a base level without any games yet. I will try the games out, but based on just this alone, obviously it's going to be far superior for the Switch 2 than it is the Switch 1 by a mile. And yeah, if you like this video, hit a like and hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next Switch video. Peace.